It's funny how some names just feel like they're tied to a whole industry. And I think for hip hop, Diddy IS hip hop in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But lately, it's not been just about the music, right? You've been asking us for the full story, a deep dive on all these accusations against Diddy. So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do today, unpack it all
Absolutely.
and see what it means for the music world.
Yeah, what's so interesting here is it's not just like a celebrity scandal, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is Sean Combs. This is the guy behind Bad Boy Records. He's a mogul-shaped music and culture for decades.
For sure.
So these accusations are huge.
And you're right to call him a mogul,
Yeah.
because it's impossible to ignore that Diddy isn't just an artist, it's an empire he's built, which is why these accusations are hitting so hard.
Yeah.
So we're diving deep into this podcast, El Caso Diddy, Detrás de las Cámaras. They've been really digging deep.
Okay.
And what stood out to me right off the bat was just how many different accusations there are. It's not just one thing. This podcast paints a picture of a pattern.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where it goes from like an isolated incident to like a systemic issue potentially.
Yeah.
The source lays out accusations of like trafficking, extortion, abuse, even a conspiracy. Like
Right.
the gravity of all this on top of this alleged pattern of behavior, it's really serious,
It's heavy stuff. And while Diddy has completely denied all this, calling it totally made up, we're not here to say who's right or wrong.
Right.
We're just here to understand, the information that's out there.
Sure.
One detail from El Caso Diddy that really stuck with me was, and the ripple effect from all this.
Right.
It's huge. Brands cutting ties, music getting pulled from platforms. It's like,
Right.
this isn't just headlines anymore. This is hitting Diddy's empire right where it hurts.
And that's what people don't always get about these situations, I think. It's
Yeah.
like the money, his reputation, all that. It's not just about one person's career anymore. It really could change things for the whole music industry.
Like everyone in the industry is watching this case. Like,
Totally.
what does it mean for us?
Yeah.
And El Caso Diddy even talked about how this could be like bigger than just Diddy.
Right.
Like, it's starting this conversation about abuse and power in the music world.
Yeah, it's kind of like, remember the hashtag Me Too movement? We saw the same thing.
Totally.
Accusations, denials, and then this huge reckoning with power structures and everything.
Yeah.
I think this case could be really big for the music industry in that same way.
Like the music industry's own hashtag Me Too moment almost.
Right. Exactly.
It makes you think, what does it say about all of us, the fans? We put these artists up on these pedestals.
It's true.
We buy what they're selling, the music, the lifestyle, all of it. But then when something like this happens, are we supposed to just separate the art from the artist?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, right? Like we can love someone's music and still say, hey, what you did was wrong.
Right.
But it gets messy when you've got all this fame and influence and it's used to silence people or avoid responsibility.
For sure.
That's where we have to really think critically.
It's true. It's like there's this whole other battle happening in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
El Caso Diddy talked about how split people are. Some are positive he's guilty. Others are saying it's a witch hunt.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do we deal with that while all the legal stuff plays out?
That's where critical thinking comes in, right? We
Yeah.
can't just go with our gut or whoever shouts the loudest. Like this deep dive, we're not trying to give you the answers.
Yeah.
It's more about asking the tough questions, looking deeper than the headlines,
Right.
realizing these things are never simple.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this whole Diddy thing so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's messy. It's not easy to think about, but it makes us deal with some really tough stuff
Tough, right?
about how we handle fame and power and who gets protected in our society.
It's like the Diddy case is showing us that we're still figuring out this whole power and accountability thing, especially in music and entertainment.
And it's ongoing. We don't have all the answers yet, but if there's one thing I want you to take away from this deep dive, it's that being informed, paying attention, it matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
These stories, they aren't just gossip. They change how we see the world.
Couldn't agree more. Don't stop asking questions. Keep digging.
Keep digging, exactly. And that is a wrap on our deep dive into the Diddy situation.
Wow.
Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning.
Love it.
So we've talked about what's being said, what could happen,
Right.
even the legal side of things.
Yeah.
But this whole thing, it feels bigger than just Diddy.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how we deal with fame and power, and if there's even any responsibility that comes with those things.
Absolutely. And El Caso Diddy, that podcast, they really got into this, asking, do we treat celebrities differently? Do we give them a pass? And should we?
It's tough, right? I mean, we put these stars up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
We buy into the music, the lifestyle, everything.
For sure.
But when something like this happens, are we just supposed to separate the art from the artist? Can we even do that?
It's complicated, right? I mean, we can love someone's work but still say, hey,
Right.
what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
But it's different when you have all this fame and you use that to silence people or avoid consequences.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's like this whole other court case happening.
Okay, yeah.
But in the court of public opinion, El Caso Diddy talked about how divided everyone is. Some people are convinced. Others are saying it's all made up. A witch hunt, even.
It's tough because how do we figure that out while all the legal stuff's happening?
Right. How do we even process this?
I think that's where critical thinking is so important.
Yeah.
It can't just be a gut feeling or listening to whoever's the loudest.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive, it's not about us telling you what to think.
Right.
It's about giving you the tools to ask the right questions, look deeper.
And realize it's complicated.
Exactly.
That's what makes the whole Diddy thing so fascinating, though.
Yeah, it's
Messy, it's uncomfortable, that makes you think about some really hard truths.
about
Power and who gets protected.
It's like we're still figuring out this whole power and accountability thing, especially in music and entertainment.
And it's not over. This is going to keep going.
Absolutely.
But if you take one thing away from this deep dive, it's that staying informed, paying attention, it matters.
It really does.
These stories, they're not just gossip. They're shaping how we see the world.
Couldn't agree more. You know, keep asking questions, keep learning.
Keep digging, keep digging.
Exactly.
That's it for our deep dive into the Diddy situation. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning, everybody.